3 subscription. We're in pretty deep again today, huh? We're in pretty deep again today. I spent all night lost in the sauce working on this, having a good time. Kind of similar to yesterday's stream too. This is a combo deck all in on putting a Bolas and Citadel into play and ideally winning the same turn that you do so. Bolas and Citadel, 6 mana artifacts. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. Aetherflux Reservoir and both Citadel are a match made in heaven, match made in hell, where Aetherflux Reservoir lets you gain life for each spell you've cast this turn. So with Bolas and Citadel, it gives you a steady stream of life to pay for the spells on top of your library. And then, eventually, once you get up to 50 life, you can just blast them for 50 damage. Well, I guess you need to be at 51 life. But you get to blast them for 50 damage. So this is your payoff. This is your win condition. Bolas Citadel and Aetherflux Reservoir. How do you get a Bolas Citadel into play? There are 3 ways to get a Bolas Citadel into play. The main one is Trash for Treasure. We've seen this a lot. The easiest way is to just engineer Citadel to the graveyard turn 2, Trash for Treasure at turn 3. You can also Scrapwork Mutt to discard the Bolas Citadel, then to Trash Treasure, maybe sacking the Mutt the next turn. And then you also have Sarinth Steelseeker to passively mill over the Bolas and Citadel. So Trash or Treasure Citadel to play is the one way. Way number 2 is you are just going to cast Bolas and Citadel. This one may seem a bit tricky since this is a 6 mana artifact, but Lotus Bloom is really good at casting Bolas and Citadel on turn 4, and this deck also plays 4 Reshape, which lets you sacrifice an artifact to put an artifact into play. So if you Reshape for a Lotus on turn 2, so you go turn 1, Chromatic Star or Sphere, Reshape a Lotus Bloom, then on turn 3 you can even hardcast a Citadel. Additionally, you sometimes can Reshape for a Bolas and Citadel. That's the 3rd way. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you do just have 2 Lotus Blooms in your opening hand, and then on turn 4 you Reshape for a Citadel if you didn't draw one naturally. Additionally, when you have a Bolas and Citadel in play, one of the most important things to do is make sure that you continue to have spells on the top of your library and you don't fizzle, and that you can continue. You can just win the game all in that turn. And Sarinth Steelseeker is a really good card. We've been kind of crushing opponents with this card in the food deck, but Steelseeker with Bolas and Citadel in play gives you like a really big amount of card selection on the top of your library to clear lands, to clear extra copies of Bolas and Citadel from the top. So in addition to this card just being good value piece, it is also like a way to give you consistency when you're comboing. That's also why you're playing the chromatic effects, Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere. If you have one of these in play, and it's really often you'll have extra mana because you can like Citadel cast Mox Tantalite, Citadel cast Lotus Bloom for 0, and there's a land on top. You just sack one of these to clear the top of your library. Additionally, Scrapwork Mutt is a card that can clear the top of your library. I've actually found that like when you're comboing, you have Citadel in play, and a lot of times you'll like be able to cast an Engineer. Then you could put a Mutt in the yard, and then if there's a land on top, you just unearth a Mutt, and then you keep going. That's very common. Very common. As far as the sideboard goes, there's some stuff to talk about. Pithing Needle is a card that wasn't in my first drafts, but I found to be pretty important for Beseiju Haywire Might decks, so I've ended up going up to like the full 3 copies. Obviously, this gives you like extra equity against decks that are weak to Pithing Needle, like Belcher and Yawgmoth, but mostly for those. Nature's Claim obviously can deal with artifacts and enchantments. But one cool thing about Nature's Claim is the deck is playing a few artifact lands. We have 2 Spirebluff Bridge, 3 Tanglepool Bridge, and so and these are in the deck, so you can like sack them to Goblin Engineer, sack them to Trash Your Treasure, sack them to Reshape, trigger Sarinth Steelseeker. But also, if you're comboing off and you boarded in Nature's Claim, you can Bolas and Citadel target your own indestructible land and gain some life, which is pretty good in your Bolas and Citadel deck. Additionally, Weather the Storm is there's a decent amount of burn on Magic Online and Prowess. Both burn and Prowess are kind of popular right now, and I found those matchups to be kind of scary. And so hedging for them with the full 4 Weather the Storm I think has been pretty good. You also might notice I'm playing 4 Veil of Summer and 0 counter spells. One thing I found yesterday when I was playtesting, it was that when I had Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce in my sideboard, I would get a Bolas and Citadel into play, and then I would just have a Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm on top, and I couldn't combo. And so the fact that you could just cast a Veil of Summer from the top when there's nothing on the stack, I think is really important. I think this needs to be your main protection spell. So I will say at playtesting last night, the deck felt very powerful. But there's a lot of Murktide right now, and Murktide is a very, very tough matchup for these kind of all-in combo decks. So I'm not of the opinion that this deck is well positioned at the moment, but it is interesting and powerful, and it's also, you know, what I have prepped today. And I spent a lot of time on it. I also have a doctor's appointment later, so this is going to be a shorter stream, kind of no matter what. So I feel like this is a good day for this deck. Okay, this hand is an easy keep, obviously. Likely just a turn 4 Citadel, but you know, also has some early plays. Q Presidente, 19 months. Can I redeem a birthday question? Well, happy birthday to you. Is that the question? Yes, you can redeem that. Have you considered the Tamashii package in deck building? No, I don't think so. Notably, I'm playing one Steam and one Island for Besages, mostly. You could play Tamashii, maybe. No, don't Murktide me round 1. Don't do it. Oh, this hand's pretty good, at least. There's just so much Murktide right now. Okay. It's Breach. Presumably, or, you know, not Murktide, which is, I guess, what I asked for, huh? Guess that's what I asked for. Okay. Just having these is, you know, definitely nice for your combo turns. I think I might just get a Scrapwork Mutt into play that I can reshape into a Lotus Bloom next turn, so I can just have extra mana to pay for like a Spell Pierce or something on turn 4. Just gonna try to go off on turn 4. This, yes, Saturday I started off 2-0, I was feeling great, then I lost 3 rounds in a row. It was real heartbreaker. No interaction in the main makes me skeptical this is going to work, but I respect the experimental nature of the deck. I mean, all-in combo decks in Modern just don't require removal spells, you know what I mean? There are some situations where you want them, but they're just like not that necessary in every strategy. Okay, I don't have double blue actually for Reshape, so I can either, I think I'm supposed to probably sack this Chromatic Star. I know we have a lot of blue players in this chat that just think you need a Celestial Colonnade and counter spells in every single deck, but I'm here to tell you, if you're killing your opponent on turn 4 or turn 3, you're an all-in combo deck that's trying to kill your opponent turn 4, turn 3, traditional removal spells are probably not going to be worth that much to you. I think I will suspend this Mox. Unlikely to matter too much, but it's also unlikely that it's going to do very much in my hand. Although I guess maybe I could discard it to Mutts and stuff. Power Conduit and Breach. They may just be a fair deck. It might just be a fair deck. Like, if I see Power Conduit, I'm kind of expecting they're just playing, like, a lot of fair cards. Notably, Saheeli, Filigree Master. Awesome. You'll love to see it. Alright, very, very likely to win the game this turn. Obviously, you know, this is not a deterministic combo with Bolas and Citadel, which is part of the reason that makes it fun. Part of what makes this deck fun and risky. Whiskey, thank you for the 25 months. Okay, we get to cast another Lotus Bloom, which is always great. I really don't think I'm supposed to just use my land drop here. I'm just gonna sack this to put that Lotus Bloom into play. Last Lotus Bloom. Okay, I'd love to hit a Chromatic Star. That means I'm a little less likely to brick. Trash for Treasure is fine. I guess I do lose the Chromatic Star. So yeah, maybe I'm supposed to like actually be sacking the Lotus Bloom here, just because that the Lotus Bloom is or the Chromatic Star is a way for me to not brick. Very happy to find my Aetherflux Reservoir, though. We do have still 2 Mutts to get through the lands on the top of the library. Okay, and then Steelseeker is, when you have Steelseeker in play, it's a lot harder to fizzle. So we're going to unearth the Mutt, which does not trigger the Aetherflux Reservoir. I'm going to trigger the Steelseeker first here. Put that into my hand, and then Yes, let's go ahead and draw this Mutt. Let's go ahead and draw this Mutt. Okay, then we have to cast the Mutt. Trigger the Steelseeker again. Okay, then let's go to draw the Reshape. Cast the Mox. Then I'll leave the Engineer on top. Just leave like any spell that's fine to cast on top here. Probably getting another Mutt in the yard is another way to not die. Although I think Chromatic... I mean, we're just at 56 life to unfortunately not get to continue. I'm going to go ahead and gain a little bit more life just to be very safe and then blast them. Sick. Turn 4 kill. Up against like a Teamer, artifact value pile deck. Maybe has some counter magic in their deck, but I think for the most part their interaction is going to be like Besage You, Haywire Might. So I think I want the Needles. I may want like some number of Nature's Claim, maybe like 3 Needle, 3 Claim. And usually I've been trimming on the Chromatic Star, Chromatic Spheres post board, although you could also trim on Mox Tantalite. So maybe trim one of these, 4 Spheres, 1 Star. Yeah, is there a backup deck? There's actually not a backup deck today. I have a doctor's appointment. If this deck goes really poorly, we'll just do a super short stream. I spent all night on this. This deck has gone through like 5 or 6 drafts already, and I think this is the best version. But I did not get to playtest anything else last night because I was really deep on this. I lost a lot of play points. Yeah, it does feel good to win game 1 with the new brew, though. Doctor appointments are ready. Yeah, I actually tried to reschedule because this week is really busy for me, and like the next time they could see me was like January 21st, so had to go through. Kind of a dopey hand. For the most part, I do think you want to mulligan somewhat aggressively with this deck. I've kept a lot of hands like this and regretted it, so let me actually just mulligan this. Yeah, this hand is so much better. Yeah, I think we actually put back the Trash for Treasure, and then on turn 4, we're just going to have 6, 7, 8 mana to reshape a Citadel into play. That does not happen very often, just like reshaping Citadel into play on turn 4, but this is like, it does happen enough of the time to mention it. Ragavan, definitely the bane of decks like this. We do have some blockers for it. Ooh, wow, 3rd Bloom. I've thought about brewing a Steelseeker and Pioneer. I have not. I have not really put almost any thought into Pioneer lately. Although we did play it yesterday. Baby Biscuit, thank you for the year. Appreciate you. Isn't this deck also fairly budget? I think as far as like, it's like 70 tickets or something. Okay, these wishes look horrible, I think. Wish in a collected company deck. I also really dislike... Look, you're playing 4 Baral, 4 Goblin Electromancer, 4 Third Path Ironclast, 4 Young Pyromancer, and you have only 16 ways to trigger these cards. That is way too few. You need like 24 minimum, ideally more, like ideally like 28. Way too few spells. Sprout Storm. Okay, Sprout Storm is like, it sure is in a wish target, huh? Brazen Borrower. I mean, okay, you could play Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower would get you up to 20. You probably need like 4 more than that. The problem is also you're playing Brazen Borrower and Bone Crusher Giant in Modern, which are like you know, underpowered spells. You know, these are really not powerful effects at all. These are not cards that you're incentivized to play in this format. And there's like, in general, you should not play collected company decks with Baral, Electromancer, Third Path Ironclast, Young Pyromancer. This is kind of the classic problem where you see that, you know, these are all, powerful creatures in Modern. Collected Company puts them into play, but for Collected Company to be good, you have to play too many creatures for these other cards to be good. This is just not... okay, this does actually nothing against me. I can't unearth my scrap. Oh, they can't, the sequencing, Imri, Grafdigger's Cage, then Imri. Stop Citadel? Oh, no, it does stop Citadel. Sorry, it does stop Citadel. That's right, okay. So I need to find a Nature's Claim. And I need to find it and kill it on their instep. Dang it. Okay, we win if Rockman hits our Aetherflux. We have 3 Aetherfluxes. We'll play more than just one win con in this deck. Okay. Honestly, like, this is tough. We're like this deck does not function, in my opinion. This deck is like, this deck is just gonna get chewed up and spit out. It's kind of a fun idea, for sure, but I don't know that I can. Also, Relic plus Imri is like not 2 cards I usually like to pair together. Also, this Scape Shift plan is super dubious. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains and only 1 Dryad. How do you get the Dryad? Like, you just hope to draw your Dryad, and when you draw Dryad Wish, then you have a random combo kill? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the problem with the deck is, like, there's no way to build the deck to be competitive, in my opinion. Like, you cannot play Collected Company with, like, these kind of payoffs. It's just way too, either companies are bad or your creatures are bad. And, like, the kind of cards you have to play to, like, enable them, like, adventure creatures are really weak, and even then, like, that doesn't make your Iconoclast or Young Pyromancers very strong. Alright, Nature's Claim off the top would be easy mode. So I can't unearth this. I guess I should just probably put a Bolas Citadel into play here. Was not expecting to have to play against Grafdigger's Cage. Am I going to play that Ave deck again? Maybe at some point. Probably not today. Or, definitely not today. Well, I guess don't say definitely. I'd play Ragavan over Ignoble Hierarch. I would not play any Brawl, any Goblin Electromancer. You should play the red-green Goblin. There's a red-green Goblin that makes red and green spells cost 1 less, so it makes your Young Pyromancer, Bonecrusher Giant, Dryad, Collected Company, Wish cost 1 less. I think it actually makes every single spell in your deck cost 1 less in addition to some of your creatures. That's just better than, like, these cards, but you probably shouldn't play either. Having an entire sideboard or almost entire sideboard of Wish board, I don't know, just play the Sprite Storms of the main deck. Just play these in the main deck if this is, like, the plan, Nexus, 24 months. Mishra or Urza? Oh, wow, you can play lands with this. That is kind of interesting. Creatures. Okay, I can also trash for treasure a Chromatic Star. They could pop the Relic, but yeah, you can play land. So this only stops you from playing spells from your library. Oh, yeah, I'll crack this needle. I don't care. Okay. Yeah, just needle the cage. Easy. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to needle Relic or Saga. Probably Saga. Did you work on new Bankoko? Not in a while. I don't know. This is kind of happens a lot where like I'll be like pretty happy with a deck. I'll be pretty happy with a version of a deck, and people just like want new versions constantly. Like 2 cards different constantly. But I don't think Bank Company is going to change a lot going forward, or at least like not at the time of making this comment. Did I say needle cage? Yeah, I was just reading the chat. I wasn't actually a needle cage. 4 months. Thank you. Can I make a review at the end of your year by strongest breeders of blood? I don't usually like to do that kind of stuff. People always ask me, what deck are you proudest of? What are your strongest brews? I just don't like to. Okay, they have more than one Beseiju, so I'm glad I brought the needles in. We can still needle the Beseiju. I'll go ahead and concede though. Y'all can decide for yourself what my strongest brews are. You know what I mean? Y'all can form that opinion yourself. I don't like to come on the YouTube channel and be like, these were the strongest decks I made this year. Look how great I am. It's not for me, really. I'm gonna cut this again. Third Mox. Okay, on the play for game 3. Your number 1, Titan's Nest. Okay, only have 1 land. We do have a needle, which is nice. We have a Mox. Probably have to mulligan this. Just doesn't do anything. Okay, this hand has Goblin Engineer, Trash for Treasure, and Lotus Bloom. So on turn... Yeah, on turn 5, if we draw 1 land, we're good to go. And we can needle Beseiju. And then we can keep the Nature's Claim in hand for a needle. So, or needle for cage. So this seems pretty good. I'm like 99% sure it's Beseiju who endures. Let me just double check. I think I got my quantity just wrong. I own and run your Bankoko. I use Spellskite over Wall of Roots in the main. It's a huge game changer for meta. Well, I play Wall of Blossoms, not Wall of Roots. Spellskite's kind of cute though. Although for the most part, I don't usually like to play like protection spells in Bank Company because every single creature in the deck gives you card advantage. And so, if your opponent's using removal on your cards, it usually doesn't matter a ton. You're pretty good at outgrinding removal spells, in my opinion. What inspired this deck? I mean, like a lot of my brews, I'll have like a draft together for a while, and it's just kind of like missing a piece. And so like in this deck, I've had like... Hold on. I've had like these 20 cards together in a draft for like 6 months or something. 24 cards. Maybe I didn't have the Mox Titanites. And my like biggest issue was like there wasn't like a good way to like like this. I think this part felt like this was like a really fast, relatively consistent way to put Bolas and Citadel into play early, right? But the problem is like there wasn't like a good way to manipulate the top of your library when you're comboing off. That was the biggest issue for me when I was like working on this deck. Was there just wasn't there wasn't like again a consistent way to manipulate the top of your library. That was like a good card. Although you could play Dragon Regis Channeler. I played a version with Channeler last night. But like Mutt and Steelseeker both just fit so perfectly into this deck. And obviously me having been playing a lot with Mutt and Steelseeker makes me more interested in working on this deck. And that's I guess that's how we got here, huh? Okay, Power Conduit. Would love to draw a green source. I might just kill the Saga main phase. We'll see. Did I consider recommission at all for Lotus Bloom? I did. So like I was trying for a little bit to work on a recommission plus I think I might name Power Conduit here. Just want them to loop the sagas. Also, notably, the Lotus Bloom comes down next turn. It might look like we are missing a mana, but we can actually use this as a ritual just to like reshape for another Lotus Bloom and then Goblin Engineer Trash for Treasure. Bandit, 60 months, thank you. Bit worried about a spell pierce. Probably can't play around it. First time in history, Pithing Needle names Power Conduit. No, I've played enough 8-key combo for that to not be the case, I think. Weird that they wouldn't just cast the Ragavan. They could make a Saga token. I guess they could make a Saga token main phase like this. So yeah, so I that may still happen. A Kyla's restoration of a Gonjo recommissioned deck with Lotus Bloom. Restoration, Kaya's, or the new White Collected Company, and Restoration of a Gonjo are all good ways to Lotus Bloom. Okay, we actually looks like we're gonna get to put a Bolas of Citadel into play without a Grafdigger's Cage this time. Actually, if I draw a land for turn, obviously I could just play the land to Goblin Engineer Trash for Treasure, but I actually think it's better to. Not. And that way I just have my land drop still in play. So, which needle should I sack? Probably the one. Naming Power Conduit. Vagrant, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Although I guess I have to sack both anyways. Never mind. Doesn't matter. That's okay though. You can sack both. All in, baby. All in. I feel like it's very unlikely my opponent has 0-minute interaction in deck with Beseiju, Grafdigger's Cage, Needle, Spell Pierce, but if they do, they do, you know what I mean? Okay, so in this spot, I think without the mana to Unearth a Mutt, I'm just supposed to put a Reservoir in the yard, so if I find a Trash for Treasure, I can do that. Oh no. Oh no, I Reshape is a spell you can usually cast. I don't have any artifacts to play. Well, so I guess I'm passing. Or so I can sack the Bolas of Citadel, but damn it. Yeah, absolute disaster. If we found a land first, we can play the Star, then we can Reshape, we can get Lotus Bloom into play. So here, if they get Grafdigger's Cage, we do have Nature's Claim. In order to continue combo next turn, we'd have to draw a land. Any untapped land would let me get green mana, though, because I have the Chromatic Star. Just got here why you have to cast the first Reshape. For enough mana, I had to Reshape to get Lotus Bloom into play, to have enough mana to Trash for Treasure into Engineer into Trash for Treasure. Probably fetching Needle. I think they're gonna get Grafdigger's Cage. They got Grafdigger's Cage last time. Yeah. That's okay though. Potentially okay. Obviously, like, easy mode is just like ripping a land off the top. Because you can play lands with Bolas of Citadel. Otherwise, we have to wait 2 turns. Definitely gonna chump block if they attack. Let's put a Phyrexian Dragon in the deck. Let's not. Toads, tier 1, thank you. Hopefully this is just Ragavan. If you draw an artifact land, you can engineer a Lotus into play. Oh, that's true, yeah. Okay, not anymore. They should have gone Ragavan into Lantern, by the way. The ads got me. Alright, let's love to hear it. Yeah, Cage does not stop. Wait, their main phase popping this. I guess they were scared of the Engineer. Alright, I'm gonna chip block. Any untapped land is what we need underneath this Reshape. Okay. No such luck. However, if my opponent doesn't have any more interaction, we're still like very live. Can you welder your Star for Bloom with a Cage out? Yes, I believe. Yeah, non-creatures can enter the graveyard from the library with Cage in play, but Cage just stop you from casting spells with Bolas of Citadel. Is Citadel legal in EDH? This card seems like it's probably ridiculous, right? Their hand is Ragavan, 3 mystery cards. They have a removal spell for the Engineer. We may not have enough life. It's legal? Wow. Yeah, it seems like it's like one of the better cards in the format, right? I would guess. Just trying to think if I'm always going to want to play this. No, because I will be able to draw. If I just sack the star, then I'll still have a land drop available. Okay, Nature's Claim, the Cage. This is the only land in the deck that costs me life. Which is a problem because like having an untapped land here is important so I can sack a Chromatic Star Sphere. But I think my life total is more important. Okay, we get to shuffle this Reshape away, which is something. I think I just put a Mutt in the yard. We're honestly not super likely to. We have to get pretty lucky to win from this point. Yeah. And we do not. We fizzle, unfortunately. We're on the draw. This is maybe the kind of hand you can afford to keep on the draw. It's pretty slow. Let me try it. Wild Cantor isn't worth it. I would play Manamorphose probably over Wild Cantor, but I think for the most part you want to be more in on the artifact synergies, if that makes sense. Okay, don't hate drawing the second Mox there. Went 7-1 with Greenstorm last night. Love the brew. Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to revisit that deck at some point. I've been like playing I played so much of the red-green food like deck lately, like multiple streams. I mean, I'm kind of wanting to like just get back more into the variety. Does this deck want Synthesizer? I don't think so. Curve's too high, probably doesn't really help you combo. It's not very good with the suspend spells. They name white with Utopia Sprawl. Main phase company. Okay, so it's just Heliod. Oofta, 18 months, thank you. Okay, Ranger Captain's really good against me. Walking Ballista. Turn 2 on the play. Very powerful start from my opponent. Oh man, they get to Ranger Captain my Mox in too. That feels not great. Okay, I think I'm gonna Mutt here since Mutt blocks the Conclave Mentor, unless we just discard a Bolas to Citadel. Is Living End still a viable deck? I mean, of course, you know what I mean, it's Living End, but, you know, like with Murktide being pretty popular, a lot of Living End opponents don't feel super comfortable playing against Murktide. I actually feel like that matchup's a lot closer than most people usually think. Oh, they just Ballista X equal 2. Okay, I might even concede to this. This is like an absurd start for my opponent. I don't know how I ever win. Double Ranger Captain. I'll take a draw. I don't really know what we're drawing to here. I mean, that's likely one of the better draws. Obviously, we're mana short of playing it here. But I think with double Ranger Captain, just gonna be able to time walk me twice. Get back it in. So Needle can name Ranger Captain, which is fine. I imagine they showed us a Beseiju. They probably only have one in the deck, so I don't know if I'm supposed to bring those in. Needle can also stop their combo, so I think this is just our sideboard card. I think I'm gonna go down 3 Spheres. Sphere is worse than Star in this deck. Yeah, this is an absurd start, especially on the play, too. No backup deck today. No backup deck today. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Ranger Captain's a little underplayed. Always a card I like a lot. Yeah, the backup deck is Touch Grass and Go to the Doctor. Okay, we have the, you know, almost the nut curve of Engineer into Trash for Treasure. We do still need to draw a land, but got 2 looks at a land, and we have, you know, plenty of action if we miss. You could sack Mutts for Blooms. Wouldn't it have been better to play Engineer for Bloom instead of Mutt? Well, if I go Engineer for Bloom that turn, the following turn I play a Mutt, I still don't have the 3rd mana to sack a Mutt into a Bloom. I guess, you know, obviously I could have drawn. I guess I could have drawn one, right? But okay, so this is interesting. I think I'm supposed to hold the Bloom in my hand so that if I miss my land for turn, I can go Mutt, discard Bloom, and then I have a second look at an untapped red source to Bloom out Bolas Citadel, sacking the Mutt or the lands, and then sack the other one for the Trash or Treasure. Alright, just playing a Heliod. Come on, land, please. Mox? Okay, so we'll enact our game plan. And this will, at the very least, like, even if I miss on land the following turn, this will, you know, allow me to combo off next turn. Okay, I did find a land. Unfortunately, it's a green tap land. But I guess this means if the Engineer dies, I'm still able to combo. It also means I'm going to have a ton of mana. I'll be unlikely to fizzle. My opponent says Citadel over Portal. I think they probably, you know, in an all-in combo deck, yeah. Oh, also, can we beat Infinite Life? No, we cannot beat Infinite Life. Okay, they don't have it, though. Anybody feel like getting Mana Tithe today? I don't really feel like getting Mana Tithe today. I guess I could attack first. Why no Saga? No Saga because Saga is not very good in this deck. You have very high color mana requirements that Saga does not meet. You're an all-in combo deck that's trying to win on turn 4, turn 3 really consistently. Saga doesn't get you Lotus Bloom or any piece of mana really. I think that the beatdown backup plan is not ideal either. Guess I float a red actually. I've actually kind of been struggling with seeing Citadel on top. Like, am I supposed to like cast something to get rid of it here? I think at 20 life I'm supposed to cast the Citadel. I think it's somewhat close. Okay, we'll definitely just discard so we don't have to have a land on top. I want to keep a Trash or Treasure in my hand actually, so I can go Engineer into Trash to put a Aetherflux Reservoir into play. Okay, so now we'll cast the. No, I guess we crack the star. Steelseeker is definitely really nice. So let's say no to this so we can cast the Steelseeker. There's our Lotus Bloom. Lotus Bloom is really important here. So we can go Lotus Bloom, get that in the hands. Engineer. Get an Aetherflux Reservoir into the graveyard. Trash for Treasure, Aetherflux Reservoir into play, and I guess I just need. I need to have a spell underneath the Spirebluff Canal. Damn it! Oh, come on, no! I feel like we've been running kind of bad with the the combo today. We're pretty set up to obviously go off next turn. Just any spell, I think it very likely means we win. I feel like Reshape would be good at 1 and 2 for consistency. Gets Bloom and Citadel. We have 4 Reshape in the deck. And we can't beat Infinite Life. Tough stuff, tough stuff. Oh boy. Okay, this hand is turn 3. Feeling great about that. I think we put back the second bridge. Turn 3 on the play. Let's go. Against a Giganta deck. If someone were to say Fable is trash, would I recommend replacing it in red green food? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's trash. You have a lot of options. So like this is tough because I think Fable is better than Trail of Crumbs or Ragavan or Unholy Heats, but like you would probably play one of those things. You know what I mean? But I think they're all worse, so I always have a hard time recommending a card when I think all the options are like about the same level and worse than what I am playing. So we 15 months, Ghost 27. And usually like if a player, assuming this is you, you're not actually asking for a friend, assuming you think Fable is trash, surely you have a card that you think is good and you want to play instead. You know what I mean? Portal as a one of. I mean, this deck is all in on winning with Bolas and Citadel. We don't want like the slow grindy Portal. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like we're maybe about to get stubs, but if I drew an untapped land, we could maybe play around it. I think I'm just supposed to jam. All right, today may be a painful day, chat. Andrea says he actually doesn't think Fable's too good. I mean, I don't think Fable is broken. I think that Fable's very good in the food deck, though. It has a pile of synergy, and Fable is usually good in decks with lots of synergy. With 4 Reshape and 4 Engineer, why do you need all the 4 Citadels? You actually just hardcast this a lot. Like, reshaping for Citadel is 8 mana, which is very difficult to do on turn 4. You can, if you have, like, enough 2 Lotus Blooms, but just 1 Lotus Bloom lets you cast 1 from hand. Also, you can discard, if you draw them to Mutt, to trash your treasure back into play. Okay, I mean, if I draw another trash for treasure... Still pretty dead. I genuinely don't know what I replace it with. I've just disliked it in every other shell. I mean, I think the card's great, but again, you can think of something. It's fine. But for the most part, like if you think a card is bad and you can't think of anything better to play with it, I would just recommend playing the version that exists and trying to evaluate after some games. Any thoughts of Ensnaring Bridge? I kind of like the idea of Bridge as like an engineer target in the board. Okay, one more look at a trash for treasure. We get to go to game 2. So their main interaction is going to be Leyline Binding and Counter Magic. I think that the full 4 Veils are fine. And I think I'm like 3 Nature's Claim. I think I can go down like 2 Mox and 5 Chromatics. Tiger, 11 months, thank you. What are my thoughts on the Pyro versus Fable deck debate? I mean, I think any deck is going to have more synergy with one of the cards than the other. Like, Scam has more synergy with Seasoned Pyromancer because you have the Undying effects. Creativity has a lot more synergy with Fable. Food has a lot more synergy with Fable. And like I don't think there's really any deck that just has like no synergy with either. Besides maybe like just traditional Rakdos no Scam. But there I think I usually like Seasoned Pyromancer more because it's a better top deck. A Fable is usually a better turn 3 play than Seasoned Pyromancer. And then Seasoned Pyromancer is usually a better top deck. Don't you lose all consistency posted up because they make chromatics? I mean, you still have Steelseeker as a consistency enabler. But just like, any combo deck that has to bring in answers for your opponent's interaction, you lose consistency. This is just a dynamic of Magic the Gathering. If post-board and combo decks, you really often have to diminish your combo consistency so that you can not lose to your opponent's interaction. Topaz, 29 months, thank you. Ooh, second Steelseeker is kind of nice. So we're going to get 4 triggers with the Lotus Blooms, and we can put a Bolas Citadel into play if we see Reshape, Citadel, or Engineer. Andre, 15 months. One in RCQ playing food. Want to thank you for the content. Glad you're liking the deck. Congratulations on your win. Thank you, Topaz, for the 29 months. And Tiger with the 11. Okay, there's a Reshape in the hand. Reshape does require all 8 of my mana to Bolas the Citadel. So I definitely prefer finding something cheaper. Also prefer to not get stubborn denialed. We'll see, we'll see. Discard a Sign of Draco. I'm gonna take 5. I wonder if they ever stub a Lotus Bloom here. Is there any creature that can be used to create sack fodder and draw lands to the top? Any clue creation that can be used to create sack fodder and draw lands to the top? I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what literally what you're asking. I'm sorry. Could Steelshaper be good in Tabashi combo? I don't know. Not sure. I feel like we're gonna get stubborn denialed. So bad. But what can you do? Like they've had 3. They had turn 2 threat. They had 2 interactive spells. Yes. What can you do, huh? We concede. I think we'll play one more. If we lose this one, maybe that's just the day. Maybe we've just been lost in the sauce, huh? Hand's close. Let's try it. Maybe we also turn it around here, huh? Ooh, up against Belcher potentially. Really wish this Lotus Bloom was in my opening hand. I think I still suspend. I want to see Skelemental Gen Sack. I'm very, very anti Lightning Skelemental. I think that card is pretty bad. Alright, so we're very likely gonna have a turn 4 kill. Okay, I need to draw that because that gives me 3 mana for next turn. Because I can just reshape for Lotus Bloom. But will we die on turn 3, huh? Can I unearth a Cocoet? Listen, I don't want to hear arguments. I think Skelemental is really bad. I think that card is doesn't have synergy with your sacrifice deck. I think it is underpowered. It's a card it's worse than other 3 drops. It's just not a card I usually will play. Ooh, Charbelcher Pass. Oh no, I don't have blue. Okay, there's blue. There's blue. Although I guess I would really prefer to not have to play my land already, huh? I guess I could go Reshape, sack Mutt for a Bloom. And then sack the land for this. But then I don't have enough mana to play in Crack Star. Yeah, I think I just have to hope. Imagine hoping. Yeah, what a day. What a day. Alright, I think I've lost in the sauce, chat. I think I lost in the sauce. Yeah, today's not the day. Today's not the day. Alright, I got a doctor's appointment in 3 hours. We're just gonna do a very short stream. I'll be back tomorrow. I need a day to recuperate. How they had paid the pack trigger? They wouldn't have paid it. They just killed me with Belcher.